when it was announced that Vincent Kennedy McMahon, was going to make his return to SmackDown after, what, 4 years or something like that. I was preaching and preaching and preaching on Twitter that if it ends with a pop-up powerbomb or any form of attack by Kevin Owens, I must stress, a Triple H NXT guy, you know, and everything that Vince and Dunn hate in a prototype WWE superstar, since Kevin Owens isn't big, buff, muscular, and whatnot. Like, you know, he's not Roman Reigns, he's not John Cena in Vince's eyes. So I was like, okay, we gotta see this. And some people were doubtful that such a thing would happen because Vince isn't gonna take a bump for a guy that is not his quote wet dream. But oh boy, we were in for a wild ride. That was the one thing that really got me interested in SmackDown. Not Ty Dillinger and AJ Styles, it was Kevin Owens. I wanted to see Kevin Owens beat the holy hell out of Vince. And when we got to the final segment after Kevin Owens' backstage interactions were being hilarious, and his opening promo saying, "Welcome to the new Kevin Owens show," and going up with his long list of demands that he's going to make to the long list of changes he's going to make to the show. The first one being firing Sami Zayn. Yeah, I said to somebody I wouldn't hate that. Why? Because what's Sami Zayn doing? In fact, what was he doing during the night? Oh, nothing. He was just in the back, just talking to Kevin Owens. He was in a dark match. Heck, even Bobby Roode wasn't on the show. Kind of shows you where they're going with this. So, yeah, Kevin Owens is told that Vince McMahon is going to be late for his own show. Yeah, and after Dolph Ziggler impersonated Shane, which was actually kind of funny. But Vince McMahon finally arrived at the end of the show, and there were still 12 minutes left, and I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And Vince McMahon goes on this big, long triad about how he's never lost a lawsuit, though I'm going to dispute that because, you know, Vince thinks we're fucking idiots and we don't have the power of the internet. But considering he lost a lawsuit with WCW over Diesel and Razor Ramon regarding Kevin Nash and Scott Hall having the character's mannerisms, and I've already discussed my philosophy about wrestlers' gimmicks and how it should be owned to the wrestlers, since how the hell are they supposed to fool audiences into thinking that this is the same guy? I'm like, unless it's a luchador, fully masked, fully clothed guy, like, you know, Suicide. Yeah, if I talk about it anymore, I'm going to be blocked. So, yeah, Kevin Owens comes out. Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon exchange, and Vince McMahon insults Kevin Owens' weight. Yeah, fat shaming is clearly the norm here. You know, for kids. Remember, kids, if you do not have a muscular body, Vince will look down on you. So then Vince goes on this triad about how he never lost a lawsuit. Also, the Wildlife Preserve or Fund Foundation, Wildlife Fund, the WWF, that forced WWE to change its name from World Wrestling Federation to World Wrestling Entertainment. A lot of people still wish it was WWF, but sadly the Panda won legally in court. Yeah, they don't like to talk about those two events, or the current class action lawsuit regarding concussions. Yeah. So, yeah, Vince, you haven't won every single lawsuit, and you're in the process of another one regarding concussions. So you've lost 2 lawsuits. You just didn't go to jail on the first one regarding the steroid incident from like decades ago. But it did expose Hulk Hogan, so I'm pretty sure that could be counted for. So, moving on. He also goes into saying how he'll fire Kevin Owens and then bankrupt him. And some people speculate that he was taking shots at CM Punk. Okay, I have heard, we've heard that on some sites reporting that CM Punk is spending a lot of money on the lawsuit or something like that. So is Vince taking a shot at CM Punk because he's a petty, vindictive madman? And I was like, please tell me he gets kicked in the head, because he seriously needs a wake-up call. Or at least a good beatdown by somebody who has equal stature in terms of attitude with Punk. And then he books the match between Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens inside Hell in a Cell at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Like, I know it's not No Mercy, so some people actually thought that, and I'm like, no, that's not how that works. You see, this doesn't have dual branded pay-per-views unless it's the Big Four. They were going to do Clash of Champions and have champion versus champion on the card, which would have been awesome, but I would have waited a little bit longer for that. So then Kevin Owens fools Vince McMahon of all people. They could have done the senilism yet, but I'm waiting for that to happen in a storyline. Where Kevin Owens fools Vince McMahon into swearing to his word that unless provoked or feeling provoked, he will beat a McMahon senseless. After Vince McMahon agrees, because he's stupid for that, he gets headbutted in the head. Now, when I saw this, I was like, yes! This is finally happening! Oh god, it's awesome! An NXT guy's getting vengeance! Is swearing poetic justice on his enemy, on what this tyrant has done to his fellow colleagues. I really like Bayley, Sami Zayn. I'm pretty sure they should be thanking him right now. And then Vince McMahon, people speculated that Vince McMahon cut himself slightly in order to get that bleeding to happen. Yeah, that was a legitimate shoot headbutt. Vince was talking to Kevin Owens while they were shaking hands, so that clearly indicates that Vince McMahon was telling Kevin Owens what to do. Why couldn't he do it before the show or during the show when they weren't focusing on them? Yeah, I don't get it. But, Kevin Owens repeats what he said. You said to your word that I get to beat a McMahon senseless. And of course, the beatdown began. Vince McMahon stands up on his own 2 power and tries to charge at Kevin Owens. And I'm like, oh god, this is going to be bad. Like, one, Vince, you have a chance to get out of the ring because you're not 50 anymore. So, why are you going to fight except you're not Terry Funk either? I'm like, well, you still have your daddy issues for some strange reason, but that's a different story. So, yeah, Kevin Owens strikes Vince McMahon in the head again. So, I'm pretty sure we got brain damage now. Then kicks Vince McMahon in the ribs. Then referees finally decide to arrive and help. Yeah, because assaulting the boss of the company is clearly not a crime. So, of course... Oh, wait, that's right. Stone Cold got punished whenever he did that. So, yeah. So, anyways, then Kevin Owens, with a line directly given to him by the referees because they are all incompetent morons, gets super kicks Vince McMahon in the head. Yeah. This was kind of awesome, yet also uncomfortable. I just watch the entire video of my saying, because I'll say what I think about Vince on this point from that moment happening. So, yeah. Kevin Owens attacks Vince again. Then one of Kevin Owens' friends in real life, Aiden Pierce, I think his name, or Aiden Price? Pierce, I think it was Pierce. Someone from backstage who in real life is a friend with Kevin Owens tries to stop him from doing a frog splash, but Kevin Owens just ignores it and the guy runs out of the way. Yeah, he's not going to win Employee of the Month. So after that, he frog splashes Vince. Stephanie McMahon doesn't really surprise me in coming out, honestly, because, yeah, considering the Mae Young Classics taking place after this, yeah, I kind of expected that. What was surprising, however, was that she didn't slap Kevin Owens. Though, of course, at the same time, if that happened, Kevin Owens actually is in the legal right to attack her because Vince gave his word. So unless Vince wants to break his word, because even though he's senile, he's committed to something, and once he's committed, he's too stubborn to stop. So yeah, Kevin Owens attacks Kevin Owens walks away. I was honestly just speculating, like, oh, if she slaps him, he'll say he's provoked. He's been provoked, which means definitely. So that makes Kevin Owens a new Randy Orton. Because if so, I'm all for it. The psychotic Randy Orton from 2009, at least. Just hoping for a better ending than what we got. So after that, Vince McMahon wants to leave under his own power. Yeah, he still tries to prove he can still do it. And I'm thinking, like, dude, you're a 72-year-old man. You had hip replacement surgery when you got F5'd by Brock Lesnar. Now, this both surprised me at the same time, but it didn't. It surprised me that he would do it for a guy that doesn't fit what he sees in a WWE superstar, and the fact that he's not his creation, or virtually almost every single reason in the book. I'm pretty sure Kevin does pissed off about it. So now I'm thinking, like, also in the distance, I'm pretty certain Bayley, Sami Zayn, Bo Dallas, Wade Barrett, all the members of the Nexus. Let's see, who else? Almost every single guy and gal in NXT, the Cruiserweights, they're all cheering for Kevin Owens, probably, secretly, because, let's be honest, this is just me being an exaggerated persona, but I'm just gonna say it. An NXT guy beat the holy hell out of Vince. Tell me the NXT guys who've been screwed over by Vince and Dunn and the management of main rosterville don't at least feel reprieved or have a sense of relief knowing that an NXT guy got full permission to beat the hell out of Vince. Now, here's the thing, in all fucking serious though, I just seriously hope Vince is alright, because I'm pretty sure he has a concussion. I wouldn't be surprised. And he took that beat down like a boss. He did what he wanted. It was his bit. That's the one thing I can respect about Vince. As much as I bash him and bash him and bash him on this channel and bash him on Twitter, calling him the senile old man who's overstayed his welcome, I do respect what he's done for this industry. Granted, some might stem from his daddy issues because I want to be a wrestler. My dad didn't let me be a wrestler, so I'm gonna make life miserable for everybody else. Yeah, I still retain that philosophy. So, yeah. Vince took that beat down like a boss. I am seriously hoping he's alright. I'm curious to know, are they gonna replayed the footage of that confrontation without black and whiting the whole blood, surprisingly. I think it's an exception for Vince. And like I said, I'm seriously hoping he's alright. And the reason why it doesn't surprise me is because this is Vince McMahon. He'll take it. If he feels like getting hit in the head is going to make the business better, he'll do it. Remember Balls Mahoney back in ECW? He said, "Oh, put me through a flaming table. That's best for the business." And they did it. Or like Tommy Dreamer, where he says, "I want you to do a storyline where I get shot in the back." Yeah, I thought that was taking it too far in ECW, but let's move on. So, yeah. And this isn't the first time Vince has asked somebody to legitimately hit him. There was Stone Cold doing it, and especially at Vince's age, especially with his mental capacity apparently deteriorating. Like, he wrestled Shawn Michaels at 62, he got kicked in the head at 65, twice, he got RKO'd by Randy Orton, and that same year, he got into a fight with CM Punk, he got F5'd by Brock Lesnar, he got Superman punched in by Roman Reigns at 71. So, yeah. The reason why I don't say Roman Reigns was the NXT guy that got poetic justice is because he wasn't really that much of an NXT guy anymore. He was a Vince McMahon force guy. If Triple H was in charge of his push, things probably would have been different. That I still maintain that belief. But, yeah, this was an awesome segment. I was like, yes! And this is beautiful. But like I said, I am seriously hoping Vince is alright. And I'm curious as to know, how will Shane react to this? Because if I recall, doesn't Vince and Shane not like each other in storyline? Because, you know, when Shane McMahon came back, Vince implied that he abused his children when they were younger, in storyline at least. I'm not sure about real life. Or at least that's the vibe I got. So I'm like, okay, this is... So do they hate each other still or not? Because Vince McMahon was praising Shane, saying he suspended him because he didn't get the job done. So, yeah. So is Vince back to loving his son or hating his son? In the storyline, at least. So, yeah. That's the one thing that confused me. I was expecting just to pop a powerbomb, but I'll take this beatdown. Though, if provided any injuries happened, then I would have said pop a powerbomb probably would have been enough. So, those were my thoughts on what could be the best ending to SmackDown in a long time. Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon confrontation. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.